It's time now that we move on to the next important phase of our CO2 Dragster design project. Now eventually we're going to actually make this car. What I want to do now is go back to turn on my shaded with outlines here so I can see the car, a little better definition. And we're going to create the drawing. However, before we do that, let's make sure we got the right performance. Let's go back here to our block. We're going to save that block file, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to close that file. And that brings us back up into our Dragster. Again, rebuild and save our file. Now, there's some important considerations that we need to know up front about this. First of all, if we go to the competitions rules guide, which I need to go ahead and try to bring that up. So I'll go to my TSA folder, I'll go to my competitions rule guide, and I'm going to bring up Adobe Acrobat. I'm going to come to view, and I'm going to show hide my navigation panes, and I'll come down to content. So this will bring up, this will bring up PDF so I can see the actual competition rules guide here. And you need to be, very, able to work in this quite fast and being able to get in and out of it. I'm going to come down here where the actual competitions are, scroll down where it says Dragster Design. Now, what's important is we need to read this a little closer and find out what it's saying about the actual drawing itself. So I'm going to kind of peruse down through here, and we'll see if we can find that dragster body construction. We've got all that in here, wheels, diameters, and all that kind of stuff. And let's go back up here again. Let's see if we can find this thing where it talks about the drawing. I'm pretty sure, there it is. It says each entry must be submitted and checked in with a full-size metric drawing of the completed vehicle. The two-view top and side drawing with metric dimensions is made on the drawing paper no larger than 11 and 17 by size. Well, a lot of people say, well, I don't have 11 by 17 printer. Well, you got a couple options there. One, you can print it on a 8.5 by 11 printer, and then splice the two pages together, or you can go down to a Staples or Office Depot or a print shop and have them print the drawing as well. Yeah, I think you can actually have it printed at a drugstore now. So that looks pretty good. We're going to go with that. You can actually have it even printed on photo paper if that's what you want to do. So that's our parameters that we've got to work with. So let's go back to our assembly here and let's create a drawing. So again, we save our file, and then now from this pull down right here, we come up and it says make drawing from part or assembly. Now we're going to go ahead and take the default template that requires it to come up in SolidWorks. Now I'm going to create a custom sheet. Now this is where we go from metric back to imperial units. So the width of my drawing is going to be 17 inches. Oh, got to make sure that we put either a double quote here or an IN. Either one will work. In fact, let's just do a mixture of both, and we'll say 11 here, double quote. That's kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever done that. But we're going to go ahead and place that in there, and it's actually going to create us our design sheet. Now we can go ahead and hit the F key, and actually we can use our middle mouse button, and we can roll out and we can look at this. So it said back in the specifications, it said two view, a top and side view. So let's go ahead and find our top view up here. I don't know if I see it. There it is. Now it's going to come in this orientation. Well, that's okay. We can fix that. And then now we're going to come down here and it's going to place that view, or we can place it in the side view here. We're going to go with that. And I'll show you how to rotate that around if possible. Okay, so we're going to accept that for now. And actually, yes, we'll accept that for now, and then we'll come back and rotate these views. Okay, I've placed both my views in here. What I want to do now is I'm going to come up here on this one view, and I'm just going to get rid of it because we're going to do something entirely different. So now that I've got that one in there, I'm going to come up here to that view, and I'm going to rotate that guy in that view here. So it says rotate view, and I'll select that, and it's going to ask me an orientation. I'm going to say 90 degrees, and it rotates it. And I'll apply that. While I'm still in this display state, I'm going to change my scale, because remember in the CRG, or the Competition Rules Guide, we have to set our scale to 1:1. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, apply that, and there it is. We're going to close this one out. So there we are. There's our actual view. So of our Dragster. That's the top view. Now we need to put in the right side view. So I'm going to come up here and say insert, and I'm going to go to model items, and I'm going to go over here to the right where it says view palette, and I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to get the left view, and I'm going to drag that out onto my sheet, as you can see here. So we'll go ahead and place that. So when I place that, notice how it automatically keys off the center of the top view, and that's good. So we'll go ahead and place that. Now we got a problem here. We need to change our actual scale, like we did on the previous one, to 1:1. So we'll go to custom scale, and we'll go ahead and change that to 1:1. And we'll go ahead and check that off and apply it, and it should scale it up. Well, I guess it didn't scale it up. Let's try that one more time, and we'll come down here to this, and we'll say use custom scale. We'll go 1:1, and we'll check that off. Yeah, now we got it into the right scale. Now I'm going to try to center this up on my page. I'm going to kind of zoom over, kind of move that down. I use my thumb, use my actual arrow keys to move that over. Now, one thing I want to show you real quick is there's a lot of information on these drawings we absolutely do not need. For example, these fillets right here are really not necessary. This break line here between the two is really not necessary. But we're going to go ahead and change that.